In every Zelda game, Link doesn't really talk. He doesn't get many text lines aside from choosing responses, which is extremely rare. Shigeru Miyamoto himself said that this was purposeful. He said that he wants to allow the players to think of themselves as Link. Let's talk a little bit about why and how. Back when the original Zelda first came out, nothing was ever voiced over because of the lack of technology, knowledge, and therefore the ability to do it. Text boxes themselves weren't even much of a thing for the original game. Not very many characters spoke, aside from the random old men in caves. However, as the series progressed into Zelda 2, more and more NPCs started having text boxes. And in A Link to the Past, they were able to really add to the narrative, but Link still didn't get any lines. So why is Link still mute after all these years? Why isn't Link typically responds with stoic silence? It all has to do with the idea of projection. It's an idea where someone projects certain aspects of themselves onto other people, whether they be real or fictitious. People do this subconsciously without realizing it for a multitude of reasons. Before we go a little deeper, let's have a small history lesson, shall we? Projection was first thought up in 1895 by the famous psychoanalyst Sigmund Freud. Freud, who tends to put things in a negative light anyway, thought it to be a defense mechanism for the ego, where thoughts, feelings, and motivations that could not be owned by the person projecting would be placed on outside people or animals. Freud's student, Carl Jung, later argued that projection is basically happening all the time, where we are constantly projecting contents of our unconscious onto other people. This means that every relationship formed, parasocial or otherwise, is started with a small amount of projection. In the old days of gaming, avatars were thought to simply be tools in which you could explore the digital environment. These days, though, psychologists have recognized the fact that avatars are much more than just tools. This is called Monadic Interaction, where a player experiences more intimate levels of identification or relatedness with the avatar that they use to interact with the digital world. Nowadays, avatars can be seen as interactive, visual, and sometimes social representations of the players. They're now being used as cultivated projections of the user. Some studies suggest that contrary to forms of media like television, where audience-character interaction is generally one way, it kind of exists as a parasocial construct to the viewer, player avatar relationships contain a small degree of real interaction. The player reacts to and with the avatar, thereby placing themselves in their shoes, like we had just mentioned earlier. This is where Link comes in. One could say he's named Link because he links things together, like the present and the future in Ocarina of Time, or the light world and the dark world in A Link to the Past, that sort of thing. But it's also because he links the player and the game together. What if we look at Link as being a blank canvas in which we get to paint or project ourselves? It is through this projection we can create relationships with these fictional characters that Link meets. As Link develops relationships with Saria, Zelda, and Impa, we're able to think of those as our own relationships. Link goes through a series of events which has come to be known as the hero's journey, which is a sequence of events almost every Zelda game, and actually a lot of adventure and RPG games are based on. By controlling the blank canvas we know as Link, it gives us the chance to go on this journey ourselves. I mean, we even get to name Link whatever we want. We control Link's actions as if they'd be our own. His dialogue could very well be our own dialogue. We just simply fill in our own words during Link's stoic silence as responses to questions and concerns from characters. I believe that the intention is for you to gain your own courage as you traverse the world as Link, fight enemies, gain the trust of others, and face your inner demons. Then, when you finally shut the console off, a little piece of the adventure sticks with you. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. I realized that it wasn't streaming related, which this whole channel is going to be taking sort of a turn into more psychology and gaming related content. However, that being said, I'm still going to be doing streaming stuff. That's just going to be on another channel. I don't know when exactly we're going to make that other channel and stuff. So if you want, go ahead and follow me on Twitter so that you can hear that announcement and see where that's going. But if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and make sure, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel to see more related videos in the future. In the future, we're going to be having more videos. I'm actually thinking about making a series of where like we make like psychological profiles of video game villains and that sort of stuff. So if that sounds exciting, go ahead and make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, I also stream live on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So if you want to, swing on by. Anyways, that's it from me. Everybody have a good, wonderful day, evening, night, wherever, whenever you are. And as always, stay crazy. Wait, hold on. Can I hookshot to this thing? No, because treasure chests in this game aren't hookshotable. This is sad.